Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 594. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today's Friday, the 4th of November, 2022. Laura and I both use the she, her pronouns, and you might hear background noise. That is Carly, the new dog, who I would love to show you on camera, but it would just be a big blur. That's all you would see. She is in a crate up here because she doesn't like being separated from her people. And Michael's cleaning, so I don't want to interrupt that. So she's up here with us.
Does she come up and work with you during the days?
Yes.
That's fun.
Because if I don't watch her, then she gets free run with the house. And then she finds little secret spots that she leaves us presents in.
The best kinds of presents.
Yeah. So, apologies if there's background noise, if it gets really annoying, which it will annoy me far sooner than it annoys you, probably. Then I'll let her out. So, yeah. It's a knitting show. Do you want to talk about your knitting?
Sure. I'm actually going backwards in my knitting right now because I forgot to do a decrease.
I've done
that.
But
I am working on the V-Back Tee in DK by Jamie Hoffman. I'm knitting this on size 7 needles, I think. Give me a second. I will look and see. 7s. I think the pattern calls for 8s or 9s. So I am messing with the gauge / size a little bit because I got a different gauge than what it calls for. There is the V-back part.
And you can see that she started to change colors into number 2.
Yep. Oh, I'm pretty far into number 2.
Yeah, it's just sort of washing it out. Yeah.
I can't see because it's in front of me. Yep. So there's number 2, and in another 4 inches, we will start to transition into color number 3. I did a fade transition. I used the transition from Andrea Mowry's So Faded Cardigan versus the more
abrupt.
Yeah, more linear because the pattern actually brings in a third color up, and so it doesn't really fade, and I wanted to fade. So yeah, I am into the second skein. I have this much left of the second skein, but I am going to have to, so like half of it, I'm going to have to save some back for sleeves. Because it is a true yoke sweater, it's not going to have the raglan out, so it will have, the sleeves will start right here, so I do need a little bit of a sleeve. I would like them at least this long. I'm trying to think other...
Will you be using the third color on the sleeve?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think just the second, because the
where
third color would come
like
right
this.
here. Yeah, it would be further down. So yeah, that is the main thing that I've been working on. It is going quite well when I remember to do my decreases and increases. And then the second thing that I've been working on, I started the heel increases for my very bright Stellar Nursery colorway on the Orbit base from String Theory Colorworks. Her Orbit base is her sport weight base. These were to be Halloween socks for this year, but they will be Halloween socks for next year. I am knitting them on size 1 needles. I typically cast on 32 stitches and then increase up to 56 for my toe-up socks, and then go from there. So this is the first one, and it is what I pick up and knit on when I'm in lines places. So not a ton of work done, but you know, it's 7.5 inches in, closer to 8 probably now that I've started the decreases, and it will get done. I'd like to get
decreases.
Increases, opposites. I'm hoping it will get done this month, and I also need to knit a pair of socks for my brother-in-law for Christmas this month. So as soon as the sweater is done, I will be going into holiday sock knitting mode for sure. Holiday present knitting mode for sure. But those are the 2 knit items that I have been working on, and I didn't finish anything. What have you been working on? Oh my gosh, and I just started picking up and going like I was
Like it was
not sinking
stockinette?
back. It is stockinette, but I was sinking back to do a
Oh,
decrease.
okay. I was just thinking I need to wind some of the sport weight yarn from
Nomadic?
no,
Knit Spin Farm?
no, the one that was at SSK. The lady that was at SSK. Her SSK colorway was like camping.
Michelle, Woolens and Knots.
Yes,
She's
like I'm
doing,
picturing her face, but
yeah, she's doing a really cute Christmas update that I will show you some pictures of later.
Yeah, I got a couple different skeins of her sport weight striping, and I need to wind them so I have something mindless.
Did you? I thought she just had the day hiking in sport.
I don't know. I think she had more than one kind in sport. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too.
Um,
One of us is definitely wrong, and one of us is right.
I think one of us is definitely wrong is a good title. Makes me think of the Labyrinth door guards. One of us always lies, and one of us always tells the truth.
He always lies.
So the only thing I'm actively knitting on at the moment is Shawl That Jazz, which unfortunately the pattern is no longer available. I'm sorry about that. It's just the perfect, like, mindless garter DK weight shawl. I'm sure there are others. This is just one that came out, like, in the early days of Ravelry, and I've knit it several times, so I know it and I like it. So, it's out of the Miss Babs SSK 2022 colorway, which I think is, like, cabin by the water or something like that. And it's taking me, I'm on the ruffle now, and it is taking me over 15 minutes a row.
What's she doing over there?
She's got a bone.
Okay.
It's hitting the side of the crate.
I was just curious, like, Pearl, when she had a crate like that, which Leslie now has that crate, would ram herself up against
Oh no, this is her tossing the bone.
Okay.
She's perfectly happy.
She's fine by herself, entertaining herself.
As long as she's near her people, she's okay. So this is what I've got left. I was looking for the mini scale before we started so that I could weigh like how much it's taking per row. I tried to weigh it on my other one downstairs, but it only, like, it's not sensitive enough.
Yeah, you can bring it to my house tomorrow.
So, yeah, I might do that. Because, like, I'm ready to end it. I'm so sick of knitting this shawl, even though it's simple and it's great, but it's also really heavy, so as I'm knitting it, it's putting a lot of weight on this part of my thumb in my hand because of the way I hold my needles.
Yeah.
So I can't knit it for more than 45 minutes or an hour before I've got to put it down. It's just, it puts too much stress.
Which is probably like one row.
It's 2 or 3, yeah. It's not a lot, so. But I've been rewatching Taskmaster and knitting on this, so that's basically all that I'm actively knitting on. But I have a couple of finished things.
Well, I want to see.
Well, this is living in my ridiculous, insane,
I love it,
Amy Beth, Renaissance Birds bag, or whatever you want to call it.
I like the word ridiculous for that.
Yeah, it is, and I say it with love. So I finished the second Sweet Shop hat.
Oh, good.
So they're just mirror images of each other. They've got to be blocked, but I've woven in the ends. Like, I didn't want to work on this so much that I wove in all the ends on everything I had.
Wow.
So that I could just get that done. So it needs to be blocked along with the sweater and the baby hat version, and then it can be mailed.
Yeah, I'll give you some stuff out of my book bin, my baby book bin, to send with it.
Okay. And then I finished the socks for Mama Lemon.
Aw,
as
look
well.
at you. Finishing stuff like a pro.
So these are
Geektastic.
in the Misfit toys. They don't quite match. I mean, they do up until the toe, and on one toe there's yellow and the other one there's not. I imagine Nikki will still accept them.
I'm sure she will.
So that's one present out of the way. I actually think I'm going to knit Wheezy remember when we were reviewing, it wasn't Pom Pom, it was put out by Pom Pom, and it was like the two sisters.
Yeah.
There was a like hood scarf thing in there for that I was like, oh, I'm going to knit that for Wheezy. So I think that's what I'm going to do for him.
It's like Sun and Moons.
Yeah, I forget what
Turtle
it is.
something.
Turtle Moon, maybe. I don't
Turtle
know.
Moon,
When
I
I
think,
started,
yeah.
I'll link it. Everything that we talk about, or that we were working on and we're talking about, is in our show notes, and our show notes are on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. So do you have spinning?
I do have spinning. It is not finished. It is spun and plied and wound off, but it needs its final bath. So the first thing that I finished is some hip strings in their superwash domestic wool.
It's so pretty.
It is 8 ounces and a little over 900 yards. It is going to be a twinkle blanket, but you can tell it is not, the twist isn't set because it's spinning back on itself, and you want that 1 to
Like
1.5 twist back, because when I wash it, it's going to lose some twist, and some of that twist will be redistributed throughout the skein when I pop it like that when it's wet. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's got a lot more colors, and I'm especially happy that I spun these two bumps of fiber around 6 months apart, and while there is a difference between the two, I think they in the end one was learning a new wheel because I had just gotten the new data list at that point. So yeah, one was spun in March and at Flyaway, and the other was spun at our little retreat we did a couple weeks ago, and then they're applied together, and it's 900 yards.
Really
and it will
pretty.
be a twinkle blanket.
I would happily steal that.
Yep. Well, it's going to some small unborn child as of yet, so yeah. I'm hoping that the twist really evens it out a little bit when it gets washed. And then the second thing was my Halloween that came out very green.
It is very green.
So this was a set of braids. Gail's Art used to do these duos, and someone left this on the Free to Good Home table. And one was traditional Halloween colors like oranges and purples, and that's one ply, and the other half is like a bright green.
And that green takes over everything.
And it does. It takes over.
I mean, it unifies
the whole
so.
skein. But it makes it cool. So this might be part of a recalibrate. I'm gonna wash it and see. This was only 750 yards.
That'd be a good contrast
for the side, for some of the side panels, and then I would add in stripes of probably purple. The center panel being purple, or maybe even some black, or some darker orange. And so it will be, my Halloween recalibrate for next year, hopefully. Halloween sweater for next year. It's 750 yards of a 2-ply out of 8 ounces. It's BFL, so it's a little bit of a denser fiber. So even though it looks like it's fingering weight, it totally is fingering weight. It's just a denser fiber. It's just heavy. So that pound is what I finished this week.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It was all plying for the most part, but yeah, absolutely. And my contact's like very grumpy with me right now. That's okay. I'm going to the eye doctor on Wednesday to get new contacts.
It's at that time.
It is that time where I'm down to like my last contact, and it's got a small tear in it. And
imagine that's not annoying at all.
No, and they didn't have an appointment for like 2 weeks out, so I'm just biding my time. If I have to, I'll wear glasses.
See, that's one where, like, you could probably go a couple years without going to the dentist and not suffer any real harm.
I don't know about that.
But I'll go, like, 5 or 10 years in between eye doctor visits.
Oh, no.
Because that is one thing that I have is pretty good vision. So when I wear glasses, it's usually just blue ray. Like, that blue light blocking.
This is my second eye doctor visit this year, so... because I'd scratched my eye.
Yeah, I remember.
That was a fun bill. Anyway.
Talk to me of bills this week.
Oh, yeah, with your dentist's bills.
I've got just genetically terrible teeth. No matter what I do, they just fall apart. And I've put a lot of money into just keeping them at the status quo. And over the years, I've had a couple of teeth pulled for different reasons, and I am finally at the point where I could get implants. So I've got 2 on this side on the bottom and 1 on this side, and they were all put in at the same time. And I had just last year I'd signed up for like the best dental insurance because like our company lets us shop different kinds of insurance.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was a new thing they just started, But so I was like, I'm gonna get the most expensive dental insurance. It's gonna cover the stuff. I'm not gonna, yeah, because they were like, oh yeah, we cover 80% of the cost of implants. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then in the super fine print, it's like up to $2,000 per year, and I'm like, that doesn't cover the sedation of.
Yeah.
So yeah, the implants, my part of the implants was over $5,000, and my part of the crowns, which are the teeth that go on top of the implants, is over $3,000. So it's been a super awesome week.
Yeah.
For money.
It's expensive.
But I'm about to swatch for the best.
I just translated it into how many months of my salary that would be.
Yeah, it's on credit cards, but yeah, it's not great. I'm not thrilled about it. But so I'm about to cast on this sweater that I've been, ever since I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm knitting that. So this is called Gramercy, and it's an intarsia cardigan with some little cables on it.
It was in pom-pom.
It was in pom-pom, $49, I think. And I just really have an unhealthy love for it. It's,
she does.
It's very like spinster aunt, and I love it so much. So it'll be the first time I've done intarsia with bobbins. So that'll be interesting.
It will be. I think it'll be fun. I have little bobbins if you need some.
Yeah, I might. But I just got the yarn today. I'd ordered it from Webb's. I ordered their, it's non-superwash, which is what I wanted. It's their Amherst. Oops. I can't remember which way this goes. There we go. So I ordered it in basically very similar colors to the pattern. So I'm going to swatch after we record. It calls for size 8s, and I'm actually going to start on 8s because I hope I can do it on 8s rather than going up to 9s, because the bigger the needle, the harder it is on the hands. So she's throwing her bone against the side of her cage.
She's very
active.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yes, that is 24/7, and that is why I can't get crap done. Like I sent a picture to my friend Alan of last night where I was like, can you imagine why I'm getting nothing done? Let me pull it up. But it's like, this is all the time. It's just,
and she's in Leslie's face, like right here.
Just like all the time. She's just right there. She's just like, hey, what's going on?
What you doing?
Yeah. You know, it's like she never needs to rest. So, yeah. That's what I'm working. Oh, I've got some watercolor. I showed this last week, right? Okay. So I think that was the last one I showed. I think I've missed a day or two, but that's okay.
I feel like I saw that.
Okay, that might be it too. All right, so
I have not seen that.
Currants and a summer deer. I don't actually know what currants look like on the vine, so I was going by her
picture.
Yeah. A water lily
and Matrushka dolls.
Look at that. I was really unhappy with the face on that one, so I did another one. Because I was like, she looks so angry, and she doesn't, you know, so I did another one.
She looks like the evil Matrushka doll. Like, there should be a whole story about her, like, sneaking around a house, playing pranks on some child. Gooseberries.
Gooseberries, yeah. Which I've also never seen growing, so.
I, am watching a show on Netflix. It's like a bartending show. It's a competition. It's like the Great British Bake Off, but with bartenders.
Okay.
Who are not as kind as bakers.
You think they would be with drinking and stuff, but.
Well, they're more serious about their.
Yeah.
And that's mixologists are technically what they are. And they had to make a fruit infused. And they were all assigned different things, and gooseberries was one of them.
I don't know that I've ever tasted a gooseberry or a gooseberry flavored anything, so. As far as reading, I'm still reading the Dragonkin series. I started the one where it's, I don't particularly love this one, but it's Branwen, who's one of the Cadwallader. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
One of the Dragon Clan.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite protagonists, but I'm reading it anyway. And then
When does the new one
I have
come out?
no idea. Well, I don't know that I've finished the ones that are out there before.
I'll have to look.
So
Because there was the blacksmith's daughter or something like
that's
that.
a totally different. Like the third book in that series does seem like it's going to converge with the Dragonkin series.
It's the same world.
Yeah. But I don't know that I've read that far in the Dragonkin series. I know I have in the Blacksmith Queen series. Both series are great. They are adult. They are not.
Yeah, they're adult fantasy romance.
And then I finished listening to Ruby. No, I didn't. I'm still listening to Ruby Fever by Ilona Andrews, but I've gotten sort of sidetracked because I'm listening to the back catalog of You're Wrong About with Michael Hobbs and Sarah Marshall, I think. And then Michael Hobbs, who's also on Maintenance Phase, is now doing another podcast with some other person. Let me look it up.
About books that you would find at airports.
Yeah, and basically how everything they told you was garbage.
The first one's Freakonomics.
Yes, the first in that series is Freakonomics.
And only the first episode.
If Books Could Kill. And it's Michael Hobbs and Peter Shamshiri. And they have a really good chemistry as well. I have no idea where Michael Shamshiri is based, but Peter Shamshiri. I don't know where he's based. Michael's in Denmark, but he's an American living in Denmark. And I guess this is why he had just stopped You're Wrong About.
Okay.
Because he's doing Maintenance Phase and this one, and both of those really require you to spend...
It's a lot of research.
It's a lot of research. Like, he spends a couple weeks researching a topic to talk about. And if we had to do that before, it would have lasted a couple months, maybe. Not 11 plus years, so... is it 11 or 12?
Let me think. 2010? 12.
Jeez.
I'll be 13 in the spring.
Yeah, that's right.
Because 10 was 2020. And we were going to do something.
And then
2020.
Didn't. Yeah. But yeah, they're really, really interesting podcasts. And unlike some podcasts that are, like, very fact-based, they infuse humor. And I find it's hard for me to listen to just pure facts spit at me for, an hour solid. I need to have, like, a laugh break every now and then. So, yeah, that's what I'm listening to and reading. What about you?
Same old, same old. Nothing new. I did read, there's a kids' picture book series. The first one is Creepy Carrots, and the second one's Creepy Underwear, and the third one is Creepy Crayons. And so I bought the third one and read it to my self-contained class on Halloween, and that was fun. It's a cute book, and it's all done in, like, black and white illustrations, except for the evil crayon, who's purple. It gives me, like, Jumanji type vibes.
Very effective when the media, whatever that is, if it's video or art or whatever, and everything's black and white except that one color. That's a very effective visual.
Yep, and so they really enjoyed it, and then I gave my copy to my friend because she has a 2-year-old, and they read it on Halloween, and I'll buy another one next year to do again. So yeah, that was fun. It is a picture book, so, but yeah, it kind of gives, like, Twilight Zone, Jumanji type vibes with it. I liked it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if I've been reading anything else. I feel like I've read some picture books at work, but I'm trying to remember what now. It's been a long week, and it's Friday night, and so my brain is pretty much fried. I've been doing book fair this week, which is very exciting. There was a discussion on Instagram about access to book fair, and some lovely human beings donated some money so that kids at my school who can't afford to get books or purchase items from the book fair are able to get some stuff, and that was absolutely lovely, and y'all are amazing humans. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, next week's gonna be a lot. I have literacy night Monday. Tuesday I have something, and I can't even remember what now. And then Wednesday I have my eye doctor's appointment. So there's a lot going on next week.
Knit night.
A knit night and SSK Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure I can still do the SSK Zoom. And Leslie and I are working on getting teachers for SSK for next year.
We think we've got our final one.
Oh, good.
So,
we'll get contracts
that
out.
person that I reached out to responded positively.
Yes. So. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm really excited for this year's teachers.
Yeah,
I'm always excited. Our teachers are always fabulous. So we'll do announcements for SSK probably
sometime
this month. Yeah.
Sometime this month, yeah.
So
which is later than
too.
usual, but, life.
Yeah. It's been a very busy fall.
I've almost finished one row.
Pearl has 2.5 more weeks to go on her pills. She has decided that she will not eat them in ham with cheese anymore.
I do not like them in ham. I am.
She is Sam. I am. And so I am going to.
You could cook them in scrambled. Can dogs have eggs?
Yeah.
You could cook them in some scrambled.
I mean, that's a lot of work. I have time to scramble eggs 3 times a day.
That's
when
true.
I was late to work on Monday, just trying to get her to take them in ham. Yeah, so I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. That's the Laura Catherine Linneman mantra.
It'll be fine.
2.5 more weeks.
It'll be fine.
And then hopefully we're done. I don't know if I have to take her back to get tested again or not. I need to call them.
But it may not be right immediately after.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I gotta call them and see what we gotta do with that. Yeah. We're a mess. But football season's finally over. High school football and middle school football season's finally over. At middle school, basketball season starts on Thursday. So that's my Thursday night. That was the other thing. I have basketball Thursday night.
This bag holds such an absurd amount of
I
stuff.
love it.
It's so there's like the remnants of 4 projects plus an Acreworks set plus.
I love that Acreworks set. If you are looking for a good gift for someone, a crafter for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, that Acreworks.
Yeah, that is good.
Amazing.
It's
They're
reasonably
like tool thing.
Yeah, I think it's like somewhere in the $30 or $40 range. So it's pretty reasonably
It's got
priced.
a tape measure, a needle sizer. It's magnetic. It's got the gauge. There's swatch gauge in it.
Mm-hmm. I guess I could show you.
Tapestry needles.
Rather than just talking about it.
Stitch markers.
So this is something that we asked them, I don't remember what year it was of SSK, to help us design something for the goodie bag, and it ended up being this thing.
Which is the swatch gauge.
Yeah. Oh, mine's cracked at the very end. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
And then on
Probably
the inside...
because you're carrying it around in an unprotected bag all the time.
It is 100% because I throw things around. On the edges, it's got sizes for your needles, whichever one, whichever size it fits in. The bottom is magnetic, so you could magnetize, put it on like a magnetic shelf or something. It's got a set of little mini scissors that are also magnetically attached. It's got a tape measure, which pops out the back. It's got tapestry needles and stitch markers.
Yep. So it's really almost everything you need.
Mm-hmm. And
don't be like Leslie and just throw stuff around.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a really clever little thing, and I have a couple of them floating around, so... Oh, it's got a hole in the middle. You could put it on top of something. Never noticed that before. But yeah, it's very warm up here. I don't know if you can tell our cheeks are very pink because the temperature keeps going up and down and up and down. And
yeah,
up
it was
and down.
85 today.
So,
someone was asking me why I wasn't wearing hand knits, and I was like, because it is in the 80s still in
there's
Mississippi.
like 2 weeks in Mississippi where you can wear hand knits.
Nah, it's longer than that.
Well, where I could probably wear hand knits. But yeah, so I think that's it for this week.
We will see you all next week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have a Patreon.
Tomorrow, which will happen before this goes up.
Yep, but we do 2 Patreon events a month.
Mm-hmm.
And you are always welcome to help support us on Patreon. We love our Patreons.
Yes. It's a really, like, we're getting to the point where we know everybody pretty well.
Yep, it's fun.
So,
but there's always room for new people.
Oh, yeah. It's nice when someone new comes in, too, because we're like, oh, welcome. This is, Liz, and she's got crazy parrots. This is Christine. She's got chickens. Like,
and soon to have sheep and pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many great folks on there. But yeah, one of them every month is just a knitting night where we sit and chat and knit, and then one of them we try a new thing every month. We call it our fail along because we usually fail. We like to fail out loud. This month it's negative watercolor images, which I have watched a couple of videos about just to sort of get an idea of the concept, because it's part of that like spatial reasoning that I struggle with. Of like how to picture things that are represented in 3 dimensions in my brain. I have a hard time with that. So, but yeah. We hope you guys have an awesome week and weekend.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.